Marcia, I can't thank you enough for being on the CEO Global Network podcast. And I've been looking forward to this for a long time. So thank you for making the time. I know you got a lot on your plate. You got a lot of things going on. So thank you for being on our podcast.
It's a pleasure, John. I'm very excited to talk with you today.
Yeah, no, thank you very much. And I want to let everybody know who's listening and watching that you are the president and CEO of Mayhew Inc. We should let everybody know that you and I have known each other for a long, long time, right? I mean, yeah, uh, quite a number of years. You have been a success not just in your business life, but in your family life as well. And I respect that so much of you. You joined Mayhew in 2002 and in 2007, at the age of 30, were appointed president of the company, right? And
Yes.
the company was born out of a small office supply company in Windsor, Ontario, that was established in 1934 by your grandmother, and so or
My
your great
great great
your
great
great
grandmother. Yes.
absolutely.
Yes. Yeah.
You and your company have received many awards of excellence, including the Canada's Best Managed Company, Canadian Business Excellence Awards, and a number of others. You're a University of Windsor grad, BCom, Human Resources and Marketing, and you're a lifelong learner. A founding member of CEO Global Network. Been with us for 17, 18 years. And so how good is that, right? Great to have you here. So my first question, Marcia, is this. You've led Mayhew through a major transformation in workspace design. What's one design principle that leaders still get wrong about how people truly work today? Does something come to your mind as it pop up?
100%. This is one that I think gets us every time.
Yeah.
Organizations are still trying to design for the imaginary average employee. It's that one size fits all. Real teams are a blend of neurodivergent brains, cultural practices, mobility needs, shifting energy levels depending on seasons. At Mayhew, we have really put an underpin in human-centered inclusive design. Can every person, regardless of sensory profile, physical ability, faith practice, find a place to focus, collaborate, and reset? We spend so much of our day in the office. I'm very excited to see a trend to go back to the office, but so much time is spent within your physical workspace that we need to make sure that we are creating a space that works for all, not the average employee. So, when we add spaces that support all, I think everybody wins. And really for us, design is not about aesthetic look. It's really going back and understanding the human-centered needs. And people are still missing that mark. It's so important to start with your employees first and understand what their needs are.
So that's the one that people are missing. Yeah, well, that's a great point. Thank you for sharing that with
Yeah.
us. Now, Mayhew emphasizes local Canadian craftsmanship.
Yeah.
How has doubling down on local suppliers helped you compete in a globalized market?
Yeah. You talked about it before. You've seen, I've been with CEO Global since 2007. You've seen a lot of change. And in 2015, when we went through a major reorganization, we completely pivoted and led with our consulting services. But not only that, we sourced exclusively Canadian manufacturers. And what that means for us, number one, environmental credibility, the short transports, and really kind of standing beside, our carbon footprint and finding great manufacturers that are local and understanding their dollar cycle too. So just because they're local, it's understanding where they're sourcing their product from. Number two, and we saw this especially during the pandemic, is the lead time resilience when you are sourcing locally. Instead of lead times of 10 to 16 weeks, we are always 4 to 6. 4 weeks really to fit from a furniture product standpoint. And then the lifetime value, the local partners that we are with, it's the um, lifetime warranties we're seeing. And you're not seeing that from our competitors that are of at least some of the furniture fixture products that are coming from overseas or from our counterparts in the US.
Yeah, so it gives you a big advantage. That's terrific. Now,
100%.
You've built a culture around idea sharing and employee empowerment. You've done a lot
Yeah.
around that. What's the most
Yeah.
surprising employee-driven idea that actually changed the business,
That's a
Marcia?
tough question because I'll be honest with you, we're really trying to build that culture where it's okay and to fail. We have spent a lot of time creating a culture of safety and trust so that we want people to go out there and fail and learn from those failures too, right? So, but I would say and there's been some great ideas, there's been some real duds, but we celebrate the duds just as much as the great ideas. But one, I would say one of the things was our closeout process, and the closeout binders kind of were killing us. Our field teams were thinking there's got to be a better way, right? So one field team actually created an online tool and an online closeout portal where they would upload photos. The punch list was right in there. So they had all of the warranties of the product loaded into this document. And then they were working with us to figure out how they could get a digital sign off on this. And this was all driven because of the having to come back to the office and write up the email communication. They thought we can save time, and this was just sparked out of an idea of our field team that was on the road saying there's got to be a better way to close out our projects. And so they got it started, and then we took it further to help create it and the look and the feel. But it's something that I think is when you give your team the ability to innovate, the ability to fail, the greatest ideas flourish. So
Yeah,
that's, I would say, one that I can't take any credit for. We've certainly developed it further, but this was all coming out of the field team.
yeah, no, that's a great example. Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you. Now,
Yeah.
you and your team do a lot for the community. You and your team walk 631 kilometers in support of reconciliation.
Yeah.
How do you turn this community activism into ongoing workplace culture, not just these one-off moments?
Yeah. So first of all, that walk is was very, very powerful. It was a walk for Wenjack, the Downey Wenjack Foundation. The story of Wenjack actually is really what opened our eyes to the residential school system. But I think, first of all, it is a treaty week. And so I want to just acknowledge the fact that we are all treaty people and we're on treaty lands.
Absolutely.
So reconciliation has to live in our process. It's not just the calendar day of the 30th. And this is the 10 years since the Truth and Reconciliation Act was created. And I encourage every business leader to fully understand that, number one. Number two is understand call to action number 92, which basically is as business leaders, what can we do to understand supplier, your supply chain and understand how you can support Indigenous suppliers, but also educate your team of Canada's history. And for us, it was something that knowing that the foundation of who we are, we want to be the leaders in inclusive design. We take this very seriously, John. Land acknowledgement is something that we think as we're creating spaces should be completely incorporated into the design. How are we going to honor the land that this workspace sits on? So whether that's partnering with local artists or at least bringing the conversation to the forefront when we're in our deep dive needs analysis with the customer, we have the ability to at least start the conversation, and that's all that matters. So, that is one kind of everyday action that we take is that we bring, at least when it comes to reconciliation in our part, is that we try to incorporate it into every single one of our projects. That's one thing. And then there's multiple other things that we do as an organization to support that. One of the things we have that we love is we have our community days. So as an organization, we have 6 paid community days for every single person to partake in giving back to the community.
No,
So,
that's awesome. Good for
yeah,
you, Marcia, I mean, you lead that culture and it's making a heck of an impact. So good for you.
thank you.
I got two final questions for you.
Oh,
Okay.
two. Okay.
No, so you became president at age 30 and are now a fourth
Yes.
generation leader in the industry. Which legacy expectations did you embrace and which did you intentionally break?
Okay. Okay. Ooh, these are hard ones, John. My meeting before you was a lunch meeting with my mom, and I would say one of the best things is right now is when my mother and father do come back to the office and watching them engage with our team. So I would say the first thing that we embrace and that my parents instilled in me is the people first leadership, the servant leadership. It's a non-negotiable, and then also the belief that around customer service, how the legacy customers that we have today are from the relationships that Mark and Christine formed at the very beginning in the 80s. So we still have some of those legacy accounts based on the relationship and the customer service that they established. But most importantly is that people first leadership, non-negotiable. So that's something I embraced
Right.
and we still talk about today. What I broke. Okay, so the myth that leaders must look unshakable. I completely squash that. We've gone through a lot of ups and downs in our business, from a month after I took on the leadership role to the Great Recession that happened right afterwards, to losing a major client. BlackBerry went with the flow of that, and then we crashed with the flow of that, to a partnership change, to having to restructure. The most important thing was to be transparent, to be vulnerable, to be honest, to show and admit fear and ask the team for ideas, to not look like I had all the answers. That vulnerability created, I think, courage for the team. Transparency is now how we operate, and not just in a crisis tactic, but completely. And I think that when my parents were running the business, that was something that you just didn't do. Um, and I think the vulnerability is what has made us a stronger, better company, and a company where we attract and we've retained the best talent, but also the best customers, because we are as vulnerable with our customers as we are with our people. So
Yeah, you want to have A players and you want to have A customers, right, Marcia?
that's right. That's right. So I guess those are the two things that I embraced, but I broke definitely the thought that I must look unshakable, because
Well,
yes,
good for you.
thank you.
Yeah, I can't thank you enough for being on the CEO Global Network podcast. You gave us some wonderful lessons to learn from, and it's always wonderful speaking with you because I learn something every time. So thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
doing this. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.